Welcome back to the channel for another video. This time, as the Suns season is completely over, Sundo and I are going to preview the first round series versus the Clippers. But first, you know what to do. Hit that like button for us, and let's just get straight into it. So on Sunday, the Suns basically chose their opponent by laying down and taking an L to the Clippers. They could have had the Warriors. They chose the right call, in my opinion, to go through the Clippers. How do you feel about that choice?
Yeah, man, it's a very interesting choice. I mean, we've talked about it on the show plenty. You know, we are worried. The one thing we were worried about with the Warriors was 3-point shooting. It seems to be the one thing that we aren't good at defending is the 3-pointer. For some reason, we just refuse to rotate right. We switch too much. Somebody's open in the corner on the wings all the time, and we know that that's where the Warriors excel at. And so we talked about it between the Warriors and the Clippers. Who would you rather have? You know, and I think the Clippers coming up without Paul George, only having Kawhi, they seem to be the matchup that we like the most. Just, you know, considering that they play right into what the strength of our defense is.
And it's not that the Clippers aren't capable of beating the Suns too. It's just like you're saying, the Warriors, they're much more capable from 3-point line. Maybe not much more, but you know how it is when Clay gets hot and when Steph gets hot. And I think they're a step above everyone from the 3-point line. I'm really hoping that the 3-point closing out issue that the Suns have, where they don't close out, I'm hoping that's more due to lack of effort and not lack of Mikal Bridges, because I think Suns fans are realizing, we all knew he was a great on-ball and individual defender, but it feels like he was covering up a lot of holes on the Suns defense that are being exposed now.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I think it's more of a lack of effort and not lack of Mikal Bridges. I mean, Mikal Bridges is only one man, right? Like, Mikal Bridges would usually guard their best offensive player, or, you know, so forth and so on. So it's not like all of a sudden Mikal Bridges is gone and you know, we forgot to guard the three. I just think it's just a lack of effort. I think, yes, trading Mikal Bridges away and Cam Johnson away did take away a little bit of the young bloods that we had. You know what I mean? Like, you know, younger guys like to put forth more effort. And I mean, they were the two youngest players on the team, so they did put forth the most effort on defense, especially Mikal Bridges. That dude was just really, really good at making the right rotations, seeing things on the floor, being able to get steals in the clutch, guarding the best player, like I said, you know, earlier. So I know that this team, as constructed, is really capable of playing solid defense and rotating right. I mean, we still have Torrey Craig, who we see as a good defender. We still have Josh Okogie, who we still see as a good defender. Kevin Durant, we've seen how he works in the paint. He's a very, very underrated defender. I don't think people give Kevin Durant enough credit for how good he is defensively. That man, as we saw, you know, in the last few games where he came back, that man was getting blocks. That man was underrated in the paint and very good at defending on the wing also. So I think we'll be set. I think the only, you know, two worries that we have on defense in the starting lineup would be, you know, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And, you know, Chris Paul is just getting older, and so, you know, the effort won't be there as much. And then Booker isn't so worried about playing defense as much as he is scoring the ball. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're missing Mikal. I think more so it'll be effort, and I think that effort will be turned up in the playoffs. I am very confident that the effort will be turned up in the playoffs.
Either way, man, the Clippers are just a stacked team that plays very hard, and I think we also both agree that they have the better coach. Ty Lue is known for making masterful adjustments in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, look at, you know, what he did the last time we played them, bro. I mean, we went 6 games with them, you know, 2 years ago in the Western Conference Finals. You know, the famous thing that happened out of that, you know, that series was the Valley-Oop, right? But even then, all of those games were tough outs. I don't remember there being one easy out with that team. Every single one of those wins in that series were close, and they were nail biters, and we were fighting tooth and nail. And so, yeah, that just goes to show his coaching prowess. I mean, he made a lot of adjustments during those series. So I do agree that Ty Lue is quote unquote the better coach out of him and Monty, but we can't sleep on Monty's ability to really motivate his players. As much as we complain about the lack of adjustments, he is a great players coach. He does motivate these players to play better.
So they've got 3-point shooting everywhere. They've got Bones Highland. They've got Morris. They've got plenty of 3-point shooting. They've got Kawhi and PG, weirdly enough, both averaging the exact same amount of points this season, 23.8. Both of them even had a steal and a half a block each. I mean, they are like the exact same statistical player right now. It's really weird. But hopefully, for the Suns' perspective, they'll be lucky enough to be just playing against one of those great wings. Worst case scenario for the Suns, PG comes back game 1. But in that situation, the Suns are still going to be going up against a more rusty version of PG-13. And I think that could buy the Suns a game or two.
Yeah, I definitely agree that I can buy the Suns a game or two if he's coming back rusty. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think coming off of an injury such as the injury that he came off of, and I know he may have been training or whatnot. I know the reports are saying like he just started this week. That's one thing that I find odd is if the reports are true that he just started this week or a week ago. Do you think his conditioning is going to be there? Do you think he'll be ready? Do you think he's going to play 30 plus minutes? I don't think he will. I don't think it's smart to, though he may still try. You know what I mean? If he does play game 1, we don't know if he's going to play game 1. But yes, I do think if he does play game 1, he's not going to be super efficient and ready. I think he will be rest. I think there'll be plenty of rest to dust off of him, and I think that could affect them. But as far as you said, 3-point shooting, man, I do agree. The one thing that does concern me is the 3-point shooting, is the Bones Highlands, the Eric Gordons. They do have guys that can be sat on the wings and shoot, and that is one thing that will concern me. If we can get our rotations right, if we can stay there, I think we can do more than enough to get by. I think if we're able to withstand this 3-point shooting and handle the inside, I don't really think Zubac is a concern for me against Ayton. I know he's a little bit bigger, he might, but he's not the scorer, or such, and he's not the intimidating force down low that we know that sometimes when Ayton plays players like that, he does shy a little bit and he does take more jumpers instead of going toward the rack. I don't think that'll be that matchup there. And also, I think, when we do get Biyombo in there to get the rebounds, I don't think he will be outmanned by him either. So I think even their size advantage isn't much of an advantage either, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Meanwhile, the Suns, they're not exactly in rhythm yet with KD. They have won every game with KD, and everyone's really jazzed up about that. Everyone wants to make that the point of the issue, but we've talked about it on stream. They have not beaten one good team with KD, unless that team was sitting everyone like the Nuggets twice, in which case we still could barely beat them. So the best win that the Suns have on record is against a Mavs team that didn't even make the play-in. They couldn't even make the 10th seed. And it took a Herculean effort from KD. He had 37 points on an efficient 12 for 17 shooting, and Book even had to chip in 36 points on a less efficient 15 for 25. But still, it takes all that to beat the 11th seed or 12th seed, wherever the Mavs end up. I'm not seeing this series as an obvious win for the Suns. They're going to have to go out there and earn it. So my question for you is, what's your gut prediction tell you with PG and without PG? How many games do you think it goes? Who wins with PG as opposed to without him?
So if the Clippers end up having PG, I think this goes 6. I think it goes 6. Suns, obviously, I will pick the Suns in 6. I think, and I'm going off of a whim here, that I think that KD will be efficient. I think the CP3 we saw toward the end of the regular season, the one that was dishing and hitting shots left and right, I think that CP3 will carry over. I think that CP3 will be here as long as the basketball gods allow him to be here. If you know what I mean. So I think he'll be here to stay. As I think Booker, as hero ball as he gets, I think during the playoffs he will be a little bit more serious, and I think he'll get it done. And I believe we get playoff Ayton. And I know that's a sore subject for a lot of people, a lot of our subscribers, a lot of our people in the live streams. They don't like Ayton. They think he's soft, but me and you have been said this over the last 2 seasons. Playoff Ayton is just different, and we don't know what it is. Just something clicks with him, and he is a completely different player during the playoffs. And so, like I said, I'm going off of a whim here, but I do think playoff Ayton shows up. And if they have Paul George, it goes 6. And if they don't have Paul George, it's going 5. That's the way I think. I just think we have a lot more talent in the starting lineup, and I do believe that our bench will show up. I do believe we have something there with Ross. I believe Shamet will step up. I really think Biyombo is going to show out for sure on defense. And so, I think either 5 or 6. That's my bold prediction. With Paul George 6, without Paul George 5.
I guess I'm just a little bit more nervous than you because I've got the Suns going 7, winning in 7 if Paul George plays, and winning in 5 or 6 if he doesn't play. I refuse to do what I did last season and look past opponents. I'm not saying that you are looking past the Clippers. I just did it last year, so I'm extra aware of it. But I respect the hell out of this Clippers team. It is Kawhi. He is the Terminator. He could be the best player in basketball at any given moment when he's fully healthy. And if you add Paul George back to that with their depth, I think things might start getting easier as we go through the playoffs. But this first round is going to be a fight, in my opinion. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, but tell us what you think the series is going to end up as record-wise and who wins. We'll see you guys Sunday for the first live stream. Can't wait to see you there. Until then, go Suns.